in a row, took a 2-game lead, and like I said, up and down in Colorado. One of the series, the Padres have won 3 in a row coming in. We won the last game in Colorado, thankfully, but a little up and down series there. 20 runs in the 2 wins, and struggled offensively in the other 2. It's kind of been a microcosm of the way that's been going lately with the Dodgers. The best offense in baseball, a lot of people tell you, but inconsistent at times, as a team.
Definitely inconsistent as time offensively as a team. But I'll tell you what, the one thing that I'm very, very excited about, and I can tell you right now, Dodgers fans can hang their hat on to why this team, I think, probably is still the favorite to win the World Series. They're easily going to have the best pitching in baseball. You've got reinforcements coming. Tanner Scott was throwing 2,800 RPM fastballs the other day. I really think Tanner Scott is preparing to finish this season like the Tanner Scott we expected him to have. Kirby Yates, although he has not been dominant, I don't expect him to come and be dominant, but I expect him. It's kind of like in the batting order, Coach, when you add another guy to the batting order. It's not just that you add them. It's what it does. It's the cascading effects of how it gets everybody else back in the positions they're supposed to be. So, like, now your 4 holes not having to bat 2 hole, your 3 holes not having to bat lead off, that kind of deal. So I think just the stability aspect of Kirby Yates coming back is going to be big. I think Edgardo Henriquez is poised to be big down the stretch. And also I think Bobby Miller could help. And if Michael Copic can get his shit together with Oklahoma City, we know his swing and miss stuff is there. So regardless of the offense, the Dodgers can win the World Series with the pitching they have, even if the offense is inconsistent. I firmly believe that.
I totally agree, Case. The starting pitching is really rounded in a shape. Ohtani's last 2 starts have been a little bit, but we know that's a project. That's a project going on. They're building up some things there. It hadn't been pretty the last couple of outings he's had, but as far as the starting pitching overall, Kershaw again, with a good performance yesterday, he's been solid. The new Clayton Kershaw we see has been very effective. The starting pitch has been good. Bullpen has been a little shaky, but as you just mentioned, 2 guys, if you're sitting there going, hey, we got a shaky bullpen, but oh, by the way, I see Tanner Scott and I see Kirby Yates coming in this weekend, you got to feel a lot better about things there, Case. Even as you mentioned, Scott looks like his old self. Yates is going to give you what he's got. Here's the thing about it. You got 2 seasoned, successful major leaguers, and they're fixing to join you this weekend in San Diego in another big series. So it's the upward swing. It's what you're talking about there. The offense has their moments, but they still got 3 Hall of Famers at the top of the stinking thing. They got, you see a lot of the other kids coming around. Freeland had a good last. I think he had 6 hits last 2 games there in Colorado. He seems to be more comfortable. He says that himself. You see some of the other stuff coming. The offense is going to get better and better because they just will. First of all, there's talent there, and they will. But you mentioned the key right there. Going down the stretch, the starting pitching is very good. The bullpen is going to be the key. And like you said, I like the fact Bobby Miller is a reliever. I'm not in Bobby Miller's head. I'm not friends with him. I don't know anything how he feels about the situation.
You've never been overly optimistic about him all the way back to the times we watched him in Oklahoma City and Tulsa, that kind of thing, yeah.
Right. As a starting pitcher, absolutely. Yeah, I'll sit there in Tulsa one time, watch him throw about 8 straight balls, on a thirsty Thursday one time, my brother-in-law.
And you've been very honest about your thoughts on him, which has been refreshing.
Yeah, he's a Dodger. We love the guy. I think we mentioned this on the last show. Maybe this guy's reinventing himself. I don't know what he's like. I don't know his personality. It's not fair for me to try to
personality.
Yeah, try to judge. We know that's not always good in baseball.
Yes,
we know that.
Correct.
We've seen that in our own eyes with our own players. But the case being, if he accepts that role and starts to thrive in it and gets into the best version of Bobby Miller as a reliever, he can be a big help down the stretch, a huge help down the stretch. That remains to be seen if we'll see that better version of Bobby Miller. But it's exciting to know you have a guy like that. And again, it's kind of like when they moved Freeland to third. There was a plan this year. That wasn't hey, we'll work him in next year. No, hell no. Muncy's hurt. He's there now. Same way when you got Bobby Miller going to the pen, they've got plans for him at some point. I don't know what they are. Don't know if they'll ever bring him up. I'm assuming they will. But they have plans for him, or they wouldn't have moved him to reliever role. Hopefully for the young man and for the Dodgers, mainly for him and his career, that he accepts that role. we see the best version of what Bobby Miller can be, especially as a reliever. That's what the team needs right now. You can sit there and I don't know if he could piss him on about not being a starter, but we don't need a starter right now. We always need starters. The point being, we don't need that starter. We need relievers. We need
specifically relievers that can hit 100 miles an hour and miss bats.
Absolutely,
that's what we
need. It's no secret why they moved him over there. He has that type of arm, and hopefully for him, and big time for the Dodgers, he can make that happen.
Totally agree, and that Bobby Miller would be big. But hey, first things first, though. Let's get back to Tanner Scott.
Gotcha.
I just love where Tanner Scott's at right now. This is why the people will say don't go out and spend a whole lot of money on high leverage relievers because it's so volatile, and you're not necessarily wrong. And I know it's AAA and this and that, and he's getting out AAA hitters. I'm not trying to blow smoke up anybody's ass in terms of that perspective. But you can go underneath the hood and think, well, okay, what's going to translate to the major league level? Well, 98 miles an hour with 2,800 spin translates, period, in a discussion from the left side. And we also have a track record of him getting out Shohei Ohtani and making Shohei Ohtani look like he is overpowered. So with a guy like Tanner Scott, even if to this point it hasn't been exactly what you've wanted out of him, doesn't matter. If he comes back up to the Los Angeles Dodgers at the end of this week, tonight, for this series with the Padres, and turns into the Tanner Scott that we needed from this point on, every dollar that you spent on this guy has absolutely been worth it. And I'll be honest with you, Coach, I am fully expecting Tanner Scott to be a complete badass when he gets back with the Dodgers. Call me a Pollyanna, call me what you want. I'm just telling you, I'm expecting it.
Well, he was a complete badass before he became a Dodger. We talked about this guy in previous seasons, Case. It wouldn't be a big shocker for him to be a major badass. I know he had some struggles with the Dodgers. I don't know the situation. Maybe he had something going on that he's dealing with now, and that he comes back as you mentioned, being the Tanner Scott that we had seen in the past, and what we hope to see, what we expected to see when the Dodgers signed him on. So I'm feeling the same way you are. Again, I don't care if it's major league, AAA hitters. Throwing like they have that type of spin rate, it don't make a damn who's up there. Babe Ruth died several years ago. Whoever's up there swinging the damn bat, good luck with that if we see the Tanner Scott that we've seen in the past.
Yeah, and the Tanner, if he just throws the ball to home plate exactly like he threw it, he's thrown it with Oklahoma City, that will be a dominant major league reliever. I'm just thoroughly convinced of that. So I'm super excited. The Dodgers, I think Tanner Scott can fill that closer role. I think Blake Trinan is going to continue to get better. Michael Copic, I'm going to be very honest, I don't know that he's in my trust tree, man. I mean, he's just so far away right now. Michael Copic, it's like, okay, so if the Dodgers had a 9-game lead and you had some big picture time to bring him up and just kind of let him get comfortable at the major league level, we're going to get to his rehab right here. And you had time to just kind of let him settle into a major league role. And if you had a couple of bad outings, whatever, fine. But you have a 1-game lead. I don't think you have time to send Michael Copic up and let him have a couple of bad outings and just give a couple of games away because of that. So the Michael Copic situation, I have no idea where we're at with him. I don't trust that right now. I think he's a ways away.
Yeah, and you don't know the thinking of the big club, his situation, what they're looking at, what they're seeing, what they're evaluating. I do know this. This is a team that won the World Series throwing freaking bullpen games. So
yes,
they're willing to do whatever it takes. And there were some kids throwing in those bullpen games that we didn't feel that great about at the time. Let's be honest, looking back on that. So, and they performed to that level. So, he's got some electric stuff at times. I'm like you, up and down a little bit somewhat, but, the Dodgers have already proven, and everybody knows that they can win. Whatever their plans may be moving forward with him, it would be nice, like you said a minute ago about Miller. It's close to 100 miles an hour, 100 in the bullpen is still going to translate somewhere. If you have enough down there, you don't have to watch it too long. That's the other thing we're talking about, Case. We're not talking about guys throwing 40, 50 upward pitches. These aren't starting pitchers. These are guys coming in. Sometimes maybe it's in for a third, 2/3 of an inning, 1 inning. Tanner Scott, hopefully he only has, if he's a closer in that situation, where the roles are, and that's the thing about it. If you have enough arms down there, if it's not going well, you make a change. And Dave's has always shown the ability and the nutsack to go ahead and do that. He's not going to step back, especially now. You're in the heat of the race. We're getting closer to the finish line. There's nothing to hold back. But again, I go back to the same thing. This team won a World Series throwing a damn bullpen game when they were down 2-1 to an outstanding team on the road. So there's nothing that we wouldn't believe that's possible. Even somebody coming in like that, and you got Walker Buehler, closing out the damn game, last year.
Yeah.
I mean, all bets are off when it comes to playoff baseball, which we're getting close to it. Really, this weekend is again another 3-game series of playoff baseball.
Yeah. Okay, Coach. So just kind of, I meant to do this at the beginning of the show. I kind of got into my own topics, which I tend to do that because I get excited. So just kind of tell me, I haven't talked to you in about a week, just the overall state. I mean, I'm in a very positive, very excited mood. I think it's the Padres that brings that side of it out in me. But I'm super excited after being just kind of dejected for the last 3 or 4 days with the Dodgers. So just kind of tell me where you're at with this team since the last time I've talked to you.
Well, I mean, there's several things to look at. First of all, they're 8-2 against the Padres. Doesn't mean nothing tonight. Again, we're the next pitch people. We've talked about that. We continue to be that way. First pitch tonight is all that makes a damn at this point. But to this point, 8-2 against the Padres this year. Swept them the last time we played them. So, that makes you feel good going into the series. Also, we're sitting there with Snell, Glasnow, and Yamamoto starting these 3 games coming in. I know we're facing Darvish. I didn't see tonight. I don't know who else the Padres have moving there. But, if you look at that, that's another reason to look at the Colorado series to go 2-2. You didn't throw Snell, Glasnow, or Yamamoto there, any of those guys there. Kershaw gave you a great one, and Ohtani didn't give you a great one. So, that you kind of keep that in perspective too. But, I still feel good about this isn't high school Legion baseball case, but I see improvement in the offense. Like I said, you see in Freeland, you see some guys, we're still we all
light at the end of the tunnel is what I kind of will have put that.
And it's not a train coming. That's the old statement. It's a light at the end of the tunnel. It's not a freaking train coming towards you.
Yes, right.
So you see some of that. Freeland's getting more. He says himself. You can see he's getting more comfortable. He's in the big leagues. He's learning how to play in the big leagues. Yeah. Conforto has showed some. I know we've all got opinions on Michael Conforto because it's been a struggle for him the entire year. You see some things there too, but it's nice to see Freeland coming around. Freddie's hit over 300 this month. He seems to be rounding back into Freddie form. Mookie. I mean, you just get the feeling this team is starting. It's a long season, 162 game. We talk about this a lot. We're sitting here pissing and moaning and whining, and you got a lead in the Western Division.
Yeah.
Still, despite everything that we piss and moan about as fans, I'm talking about as fans.
Yeah.
Everything that's gone to hell. The sky's falling. Meanwhile, you got a lead in your division, and
over good teams.
Over good teams, and you're going to be sitting right there. You're the favorite to win. Go ahead and win the division. You should win the division. But the Padres are an outstanding team. They're going to give you a hell of a fight. They've continued to do that. They're not going away, which is fine. Hell, we wouldn't have it any other way. They were a hell of a team last year. What's the point here? You're not going to do anything here. You're not going to weasel your way through anything in the big leagues. The Dodgers had never have. They didn't do it last year. They didn't do it in 2020, even though the damn stadium was empty and everybody wants to asterisk. It doesn't matter. That's almost tougher playing more series. I don't give a damn if they're playing out.
It was tougher. Joe Kelly said it point blank.
Yeah, I don't care if they're playing the parking lot. They still had it was a tougher series, even just because there wasn't any fans there. Hell, it was a neutral site. Who gave?
Well, you had to win more of them.
Yeah, who gave a crap? You're playing in Texas. Hell, of course, we know there's Dodger fans everywhere. What have you? The point being, this team has nothing's been easy. It's not. It shouldn't be easy. It's never going to be easy in the big leagues or the NFL, the NBA, whatever the hell you want to do. It's not going to be easy for anybody. But I like where the team is. You see some relievers getting healthy, like we're going to see this weekend with Yates and Tanner Scott coming back. You see some improvement on the offensive side. We've got a few defensive issues. I still think we do have some defensive issues there. But let's face it, you're not going to be, if you're dominating all 3, you got about a 15-game lead right now. Right. It ain't happening. It ain't happening right now. So, everybody has issues. Like I said, I don't follow the Padres, but I'm sure they got damn issues that they complain about too. I don't follow anybody else. Hell, the Brewers even lost 3 in a row. I don't know how many they ended up losing. Last time I looked, it was 3 in a row. So, we know they've had a great season. So it doesn't matter. It's the big scheme of things. What's the first pitch tonight, and then what the hell's the next pitch after that, and then we'll just move on.
Yeah, Johnny Owen says Tanner Scott has no movement on his fastball, and it's 3 or 4 mile an hour slower. That actually is incorrect. He was about 98 with 2,800 spin his last time out. So his fastball metrics, Johnny, actually were elite in his rehab outing with AAA Oklahoma City. So the fastball is back. Now, if you want to say movement this, movement that, all I can tell you is that same fastball that he threw in his last outing is the same fastball that he's dominated major league hitters with. So that information on his fastball actually is incorrect. If he throws his fastball exactly like he did in his last rehab outing, and it's in the zone, as Deuce is saying, that's been the problem. You get behind, doesn't matter how good your fastball is. If you're behind the count and major league hitters are timing it up and they know it's coming, they can time a bullet. So it's not going to be a matter of stuff. It's going to be a matter of execution for Tanner Scott. And if you want to say, hey, I don't trust the fact that he can execute, I totally get you on that perspective because it's a wait-and-see type of deal. Same thing with Kirby Yates, who's 92, 93, who has quite a bit less of margin for error, which means he has to execute even better to get major league hitters out. But you talk about the offense and the defense, Coach. You mentioned the defense could shore up a little bit. How about this guy right here? Kiké Hernández has 4 hits out of 6 at-bats in his 2 rehab games. If I was Andrew Friedman, his ass would be on a plane and he'd be in San Diego tonight. Now, no, I'm not joking. And because this guy, I mean, really, he looks ready to me. He played center field last night. He can play third base. I think Kiké Hernández, if he plays well with Los Angeles, this is the time of year that you signed him for. He can shore up center field. He can shore up third base. This guy is the missing ingredient, along with Hae-Sung Kim, who has started his rehab assignment as well. So, man, just a sight for sore eyes to see Kiké Hernández in his rehab.
Hey, man, this is his time of the year. I mean,
Yes.
Let's face it, the Dodgers signed him. He's very valuable during the regular season, but he's a beast in the playoffs. He's proven that. You know, that's his time. He's a guy that – obviously that shows you the mentality makeup of this guy. He's not scared. The big moment doesn't mean crap to him. As a matter of fact, he raises his game in the big moments. So, you know, this is a playoff atmosphere tonight in San Diego. You know, their fans will – probably be icing down the champagne again like they did last year and had to pour it out or whatever the hell they had to do.
Yeah.
But, you know, it's a playoff atmosphere. I'm like you. Be great to see him coming in there, but it's great to see a healthy Kiké Hernández. And
we need him, Coach. We need him.
We do.
Oh,
and that's the other part, Case. I don't know what he's like in the clubhouse. He looks like a great clubhouse guy.
Oh, absolutely.
In the dugout. The guy, he's
loose.
They still got the video of him dancing down the dugout. And all the guys, I mean, he's just that guy. He's a glue guy. Whether he's in the ball
and we need him on the
there.
field, though. I mean, we need him in center field. We need him at third base. We need him batting 6-hole.
Oh, yeah.
We need his clutch hits. I mean, there's just so many things he can bring to this club right now that they haven't had in the last 2 months.
Yeah, he can play every day. He was playing every day for us for a long time. He wasn't just a spot guy and playoff guy, but we know even if he's not in the game, my point was, even if he's not in the game, he's important to this ball club for numerous reasons. But, yes, we definitely need him on the damn field.
100%. I mean, I really think, and I know he's Coach Barakoff's boy. I mean, it would be fun to see him.
A man. He knows. He knows.
No doubt. It'd be fun to see Kiké in Oklahoma City next week, but also it would be frustrating. It'd be like, why in the hell are you here instead of with Los Angeles? And so it's just, I mean, there's just so many deficiencies that a guy like Kiké Hernández can cover up for this Dodgers team if he plays well. Now, if he goes up and he doesn't hit well and that kind of deal, even if he doesn't hit well, still just the third base, the center field thing, I think you're killing about 8 birds with 1 stone with a Kiké Hernández addition. So super excited about that. And then also, I'll tell you another thing. We've mentioned that this team is really just kind of, you score like 3 runs in 1 inning and you have a good inning, and you don't score for like 6 or 7 innings. So there's just, it's not necessarily the boom or bust, although it is boom or bust, but it's not all just the boom or bust. It's because there are times where you get 3 singles and a sacrifice fly like the other night, and then you still go 5 or 6 innings, just not competitive with your innings. So how do you get competitive on your innings where you're not scoring? How do you just continue to put pressure on the defense when you're not hitting home runs? Well, how about this guy right here? Let me flip this over. How about the speed of Hae-Sung Kim and putting a guy in the lineup like him that can just dribble a ball to the second baseman, dribble a ball to the shortstop, just get a base hit, steal a couple of, I mean, look at these base hits right here. Just put the damn thing in play and run like hell, steal second base, steal third base, and just put pressure on the defense, Hyesung Kim and his offensive profile could literally inject steroids into the Dodgers if he comes up and just does this right here.
Yep. Well, we're talking about a guy who would fit in great with the Milwaukee Brewers right now. We're not seeing him Milwaukee. My point is, he's a guy he can bunt. He can just put the ball in play. He can fly. He can do a lot of things to put pressure on defense. Case, you've had these guys. I know you have in Guthrie because you've had great athletes over there, like I've had in Stillwater. There's some guys I used to just tell them just show bunt. Because I just want the third baseman coming in a step or two. That, as we all know, the old adage, that the more the infield comes in, the higher my batting average goes, and you get bigger holes. Yeah. So, I'm not a major league coach, never have been, but I assume when Kim comes up, there's some communication about watch his damn hands. The guy can run.
Absolutely.
He's putting pressure on the defense, whether it's here in Oklahoma City, like what you see right here, right now, or he's in the major league level. The guy puts pressure on defense, as we know in every sport, speed kills. And this guy has that type of stuff. He can put it in play. Hey, freaking just show bunt. Hell, he don't even have to bunt sometimes. Just show it and put it. Hell, we all used to go in panic mode. If you're playing against a guy can bunt anytime and will. Hell, your corners, everybody's going nuts. A manager, Tony, cowboy hillbilly coach over there.
Yeah.
I didn't wear my cowboy hat. I got to find me a cowboy hat, by the way. But anyway.
Oh, you're all hack it, no cow, coach.
That's right. That's some kid. As a buddy of mine said one time, I couldn't ride a stick horse doing my own.
Absolutely.
Hell,
we're both all hat, no cow. No doubt.
I got the voice. That's where my cowboy part ends. But anyway, that guy over there, get in. Y'all got our hitting charts in front of us. The scouting report. This guy can freaking bunt. Blah, blah, blah. Everybody. It puts pressure on everybody.
No doubt.
It just does, and that's any damn level. So you're right. That's the kind of guy who can inject some things into the Dodgers offense that they need. And I'm like you, it hadn't really been boom or bust. It's been inconsistent.
Yes.
But it hadn't totally been boom or bust because you're seeing some guys. We're getting some hits. Freddie's hitting the baseball. He hit one 450 feet last night. I mean, hell fire. That's Ohtani type stuff.
Yeah.
I know it's in Colorado, but he hit 451-foot homer. But, we know Freddie can go oppo. He can do a lot of things when he's on his best. And same way with Mookie. So I'm excited about the offense improvement. I'm like every other Dodgers fan. 2 nights ago, Colorado starts a guy with a 9.8 something ERA, and he's shoved it up our rear end. I'm pissed off. What the hell's going on?
What is going on?
It's hard to, let's face it. These are the best players on the face of the earth, but you can't tell me they didn't walk out there like, man, this guy. In the back of their mind, no matter what their managers or no matter what the scouting report says, hell, this guy's terrible. Get in there and get some. Hell, he's 9.81 ERA. This guy's in Colorado. What about? Well, first of all, he's played in Colorado, so that's going to elevate that damn ERA a lot just with the ball flying. But the point being,
that's fine. Got to be better.
You can't. You have to overcome that. But you can't tell me they weren't walking out there like, this guy, nobody's ever heard of him. He's this and that. And meanwhile, he shoved it up your butt because, by the way, he had a major league uniform on too for a reason.
By the way,
and by the way, small detail, the guy's wearing a major league uniform. I know they've got 90 plus losses already, and it just keeps getting more. I get that, but he still got a major league uniform. They still signed Ethan Holiday, and at some point you may see him in a major league uniform. So whatever you think about the Rockies, it's still a major league team.
Yeah. So this is a great point by Craig Osterberg, who always makes great points. And part of the reason why the Dodgers Dog chat is just so good, Coach.
The best.
And I've said this a million different times that Hyesung Kim has that pinwheel swing. He swings up at the ball, which is why I was – see how he's swinging up at that ball?
Yep.
Which is why I was always wondering – it was a concern of mine that, hey, how is he going to handle major league pitching up, especially if it's on the inner half of the plate? And Craig Osterberg noticed that. Now, see that swing. Let me back this up. Watch this swing right here.
Yep.
So he's swinging. Now, watch these swings right here. Massively different, Coach. Massively, massively, massively different. It's almost like somebody has gotten with him and said, Hyesung, you have elite speed. Quit pinwheeling the barrel, man. Just flatten the path of your bat and just put the damn thing in play because that's the type of player we need. And Deuce is exactly right. That the Dodgers don't value the bat-to-ball type of stuff like we do as fans. But it seems to me like somebody has, like Craig is saying here, somebody's gotten in the head of Hyesung just to flatten things up and put the thing in play and use your speed.
Yeah, your game, whatever your game was before you came to the Dodgers, let's evolve it. Let's see we talked about the pitch. Let's see the best version of Ha-Seong Kim, and that's it. What's that? A freaking 12 hopper in the home short? What's the exit velocity on that? 42. Yes. It doesn't make a damn. It's a base hit. That's the whole point. That's
see that swing? Strength. Now see this swing. This is the swing from before. That is straight up at the ball right there.
Yep.
I mean, there's a lot of lift. Why? When you can run like that. I mean, why swing up like that? So instead, let's replay that one more time, Coach. See this swing? Boom, pinwheel. Now watch how flat that swing is. Massively different. I am so excited about that.
Yeah, beat it on the ground. I know that what they tell you, and they
don't hit ground balls. The hell, get that crap out of here.
Bull crap.
If you can run, hit ground balls.
This guy needs to hit ground balls, and you guys
absolutely
got to hustle your ass to throw him out. By the way,
you're damn right.
Beat him.
And even when you get him out, you're like, damn, that was hard.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, like I said,
pressure on the defense.
They're going to bring the infield in too, and he can square. He can get to 12 hopper that he's going to roll through the hole because your batting average goes up. The holes are bigger when the infield comes
100%.
in. So you're right. I hope he comes back and brings that thing to an offense. It's already showing some improvement as a whole. I'm not talking about certain people, but as a whole, as a nine every night, I think he shows some inconsistencies, but it top to bottom, I think we're seeing some better things out of the offense.
So let me give the motivational speech. The offense has sucked. I'm not going to point blank. Deuce has said the fan base is frustrated because this team has underachieved for the last 2 months. And I can't push back from that on that, but I can say they are still in first place. And I also can say, from a motivational speaker perspective, two of the biggest things I think they're missing is clutch hitting. Well, who brings the most clutch hitting in the biggest times? Kiké Hernández. You got that coming, at least on paper you do. Of course, nothing gets ever played on paper.
Sure.
But that's all you can do at this point. And then also what you need is that bat to ball guy that can just get on and create innings when you're not hitting the ball. That's Ha-Seong Kim. So to me, the two biggest issues that has caused the shitty offense for the last 2 months, you have two answers coming with Kiké Hernández and Ha-Seong Kim. So it's more than just adding two more players. It's actually adding skills that this offense has been missing. Am I too excited here, Coach? I'm firing myself up, man.
No, I don't think you are at all. I think we try to keep it real here, Case, good and bad. I think it's a good point. Hey, if I got Kim hitting 9-hole ahead of Ohtani, they know the freak standing on deck over there. Kim's going to get pitches to hit. That's the way it goes. He's going to see pitches he's going to hit. They're going to go after his ass.
Great point. He's not the dude. He's going to get pitches to hit. Absolutely. Exactly, Coach. They're going to go after his ass because Shohei Ohtani's on the deck. Absolutely.
Whatever you think about him, he was King Kong before. What's his name of the Yankees was King Kong.
Yeah,
it is actually with Shohei. He's probably 12 years old then, but hell, he was going into King Kong already. But that's a point being, that's the key to this offense too. Is we talk the bottom of the order's got to be big key, especially your 9-hole. If you got Kim down there, I mean, they're going to throw him strikes. It gives him a chance to do some things. If they walk him, that's even better. But they're going to go after his ass. It gives him some pitches to hit.
Yeah, and that being the case, I definitely think he can. And also, this is a great point, Coach. Another example of how the Dodgers Dawgs community is not the biggest, but the absolute most intelligent baseball crowd as well. Deuce says, hey, Mookie Betts has flattened his bat path. I've always said that Mookie Betts has that upward plane swing, and that's great while you're in your prime and you have all of your 100% faculties, but as you get a little bit older, like we all do, and you're just not quite, your eye-hand coordination's not quite as good, your bat speed's not quite as good, you're just not the same athlete you were as a svelte. Can I say that word on Dodgers Dawgs?
Without losing anybody. That's a good word.
Without losing my man card, can I say svelte, right? Okay, you're not quite the svelte stallion that you were as a 25-year-old, right? So as your skills diminish, that upward plane, man, you can go downhill in a real hurry because you're having to intercept the pitch. I mean, anybody who doesn't understand the science of that, I could explain it. That's a whole different podcast. So you don't want to swing up and you don't want to swing down, either one. You want to be as flat as you can in terms of the path of your hands, and then you can turn your barrel down to the bat angle of the plane. So if the pitch is dropping at 23 degrees, you have flat hands, and then you turn the barrel to 23 degrees with a flat hands path. That's the perfect case scenario. That's where you get your line drives. So say that to say, I also expect Mookie Betts to be a much more productive. I don't know how it's going to be in batting average or this and that. Productive offensive player because he has flattened the path of his hands, and I just have to think that's going to put the ball in play better for him. He's been one of the guys that said, don't hit ground balls. He's learning. Okay, that's great whenever you're at your prime, but when you're not and you're struggling, those ground balls are pretty damn nice when they turn into base hits.
It's called ground balls, line drives. That's a great point by our Dodger dogs there. I think he's shown that improvement. I think we can all see it. And here's the other part. Whatever the illness he had before the season started, we know it's zapped him. We know it took he lost weight. I can lose 15, nobody can tell. But hell, he loses 15, looks like a damn rail.
Right.
Then he loses strength. I don't know where he's at right now. I assume he's getting.
So how many fly balls does he hit that you go, well, no. And it ended up like at the warning track. That's a good point.
It's a 300-foot fly ball. You're absolutely correct. Where he's going to go before. So I don't know, his physical, I don't know if he's back to where he feels is strong, but he's like you said, he's also getting older. But he's freaking Mookie Betts. That's the other part. Yeah. He's an MVP. He's a great player. He's a Hall of Fame player. He's freaking Mookie Betts, and he knows it. Everybody around him knows it. And we love Mookie. Who doesn't love Mookie Betts? I mean, good Lord, I loved him before he even came to the Dodgers. His name and the way he played the game. So now we really love him when he's wearing the Dodger blue. But the point being, his productivity has been going up, and I'm like you. I continue to. I say that continues, and that's nothing but good for the. That's what I was talking about. He's one of them that you can see him coming around. Freeland's going to get better and better. Good Lord, he just got off a plane from Oklahoma City. He's seeing the best pitchers in the world. He's going to be okay because the kid's got talent, or he wouldn't be there.
He's showing some moxie
wearing a major league uniform for a damn reason. It wasn't my choice. Somebody who's a lot smarter than me made that call. So but you see some improvement out of him, all the guys, and we get some other guys back that have been gone, as you mentioned, Kiké and Kim. Our pitching staff, you're feeling a lot better about it. Again, we pissed and moaned all season, especially since late May. And we're still got to lead.
Rightfully so, Coach.
No, dude. I didn't say we were wrong.
Absolutely.
I didn't say we were off.
And when you
say
we mean us as hosts of the show.
I mean me and you and everybody. Me and my wife. I talked to my wife. Me and my brother Rex. Hell, we piss and moan all the time to each other. But anyway, that's our nature, I think. Anyway, as coaches and the guys who loves athletics and watches, I know a lot of people feel that way. But anyway, you can see an upward swing. Yeah. And hell, we may lose 3 straight to Padres. Even if that did happen, it ain't going to happen. But even if it did, I still wouldn't feel any different.
No, right.
Because it's just 3 out of 162. We got.
Let's say you play good and the Padres play out of their mind. Yeah. I would be more optimistic about the Dodgers. Like, they're starting to come around here. They're starting to come around there. They'll be okay from that perspective. Versus if you play 3 shitty games and the Padres just choke, then you're like, well, this is a Padres thing, and the Dodgers exactly like it was after we swept the Padres last time. I came on that Sunday show and I was like, I'm no more convinced this Dodgers team is any better than they were before they swept the Padres, and that turned out to be true. So that's exactly right, Coach.
You can't read too much into it. When I talk about looking at improvement, it's way before even the Padres. So you see Mookie being better, getting better. You see things out of him, and I'm talking about as a whole.
And you're eventually going to get Conforto out of here. I think I'm just at my brain. I'm like, I think they're going to do it when they get everybody healthy, and then also if they ever lose the lead, the Conforto thing is going to work itself out. So I've just kind of moved on from that.
Yeah, I agree. And whatever, pinch hitter off the bench, left-handed pinch hitter down the stretch,
or out now gone.
Yeah, it may be that. Yeah. That's the thing. You got to have somebody to replace him with, and that's at this point.
It's coming with Ha-Seong Kim, and that's what I'm saying with Ha-Seong Kim and Kiké Hernández. Maybe in Asturi Ruiz, it's coming.
Yeah. We'll see if they pull the trigger on that one. I agree. We'll just see how that plays out. It's kind of, boy, man, we're talking about a long rope. That's good. I know he's been a proven major league before he got here, but it's been a struggle for him. He'd tell you, I don't know the kid, but I know he'd probably tell you the same thing. He's a
great kid.
Yeah,
great
he's
kid.
been.
Marty will tell you he's a great kid.
Yeah, Marty coached him at Oregon State. So he's an outstanding young man. So I have no ill will towards the guy, but this is Major League Baseball. We get paid to win.
He's a transaction, man. He's a 1-year, basically $34 million guy. He's a transaction. That's all we're going to talk about Conforto today. We've just worn that topic out. There's just no reason to beat that dead horse anymore, because I do think as the Dodgers have guys that are more available, like Ha-Seong Kim, maybe an Asturi Ruiz, Kiké Hernández, I think then they will have the ability to make whatever final decision they are going to make on that. Coach, we have a great point here. We have a point that, hey, why don't you hit Ha-Seong Kim in the leadoff spot, and I actually disagree with that. And my point being is the leadoff hitter only actually is scheduled to lead off an inning one time a game. So you have no idea where that leadoff position is actually going to hit after that first time up. And Shohei Ohtani is the best player in baseball. He is the best player since Babe Ruth, in my opinion. And if you take him out of the leadoff spot, you're taking at bats away from your best hitter. So I would not favor Yeson Kim at the leadoff. Maybe if you wanted to replace him with Mookie Betts and move Mookie Betts down. But I'm not betting against Mookie Betts. I've always considered the 9-hole to be kind of the second leadoff hitter in your lineup. I am in favor of Yeson Kim immediately getting inserted into the 9-hole as he gets put back into the lineup.
Hey, you're not as old as me, but you said the same thing I always said, the old school baseball. You need a 9-hole hitter that is going to turn the lineup over. What are you? He's like a second leadoff man.
Correct.
All those terms that we use when you're building a lineup every day. So he's the perfect one there because, like I said before, if it wasn't Shohei Ohtani hitting leadoff, then you might say, well, maybe we need Kim. A different situation. Maybe you would want Kim at leadoff. But this here, you're going to have him. He's going to see pitches at the 9-hole. You got it. You need a guy that turn that lineup over and get runners on base with Ohtani coming up after the first inning. Yeah. So I could see the argument for that if it wasn't Shohei Ohtani up there.
Yes.
If you were struggling,
just a dude,
yeah. If it's just a dude, he's got a great point. You'd like to have Kim be a good leadoff hitter.
Yeah. One other guy, of course, a huge one that was huge to last year's success. I think you're probably going to get Tommy Edman back here in a week or so. And so, man, okay, so here's why I think it's time to stop talking about Michael Conforto is because you're going to get Tommy Edman back. You're going to bring back Yeson Kim, and you're going to bring up Kiké Hernández. There is no way Michael Conforto is going to make that cut with those three guys. I just don't see that in any way, shape, or form. I think the Dodgers are giving him the most amount of rope. So whenever they do make that decision, it's the most obvious thing, which it is to most fans. We saw that him do that with James Outman. Like right before they would send him down or right before they trade him, they'd give him 3 or 4 games in a row to play him just to kind of give that last little surge there. So I just don't see any way that whenever you get Tommy Edman back, you get Yeson Kim brought back up, you get Kiké Hernández back. I just don't see any way that Conforto will make that cut. And so that brings you to, just kind of who you would play with there, where. And then that kind of brings you back into, well, Alex Call can then be the guy that you wanted him to be, which is a defensive replacement, which is a guy that you bring in offensively against the best matchups. It gives you a lot of speed in the infield. And so I'm just telling you, there is a lot to be very excited about as a Dodgers fan. I think I'm finally over pouting about not adding a left-handed stick on the trade deadline, not adding a closer. And I think I just actually, as these guys have gotten closer to LA, I think I'm actually seeing the plan that the front office had in front, like, hey, we're getting all these guys back. We're going to add Yeson Kim, Kiké Hernández, and Tommy Edman. That's why we're not going to give away the farm at the trade deadline. I think I'm finally over that emotionally, and I'm actually able to get excited about the plan they put forward. Again, am I being too much of a motivational speaker here?
No, Matt Foley. You're not. You're Matt Foley. You're not fat enough to be Matt Foley. But no, I think we talked about this at the trade deadline case. When there wasn't a whole lot of moves made. We got two.
And I bitched to no end about it.
Sure,
let's be honest.
But last year we were big time on the trade deadline, and it helped them win the World Series. This year, I think we talked about this. I have to go back, have to view the tape. But I'm pretty sure we talked about the fact the front office knows they've got a plan.
They had a plan.
They got these. They know they got pitchers coming back. They know they're going to get Kiké back and Edman. They knew the guys they had coming back. So it may have looked like they were standing pat at the time when they really couldn't stand pat, but they standing pat because they knew what was coming. I know we talked about this at the time, and that's why we got the best front office in sports. It's definitely
because there is
baseball.
Restraint. Yeah,
they knew they were betting on themselves to make the right decision. They were betting on these players to get back and be healthy and do what they have done for the Dodgers in the past, and they're banking on. There's no guarantee on any of that, but they're banking on the right moves, and I'm not going to go against the front office. They've proven time and time again they're going to do whatever it takes best to win the World Series, and they've proven that they can do it.
Yeah.
But you're right. They also had a plan at the trading deadline, and we're seeing it kind of coming to fruition.
That the players we have coming back are better than anybody we can go get.
Absolutely.
And I you know what? I've come around to agree with them.
That makes total sense. It makes total sense that
Tommy Edman, Kiké Hernández, Ha-Seong Kim are better. Maybe not Steven Kwan, but you had to give up too much.
Yeah, it depends on how much you want to give up. You're absolutely correct.
You will not convince me that anybody that we have coming back is better than Johan Duran, though. That's where I would disagree.
No, I'm with you on that. Dadgummit, I saw that guy.
I'm going to forever be pissed about that, but that's okay.
I'm down at Arlington watching him hit 102, 103 on the damn scoreboard. And I'm going,
yeah, absolutely.
I like seeing that guy. But anyway.
We'll just to watch his walk, just to watch him enter, man.
Oh, that's the best. That's the best, man.
Okay, move on because that one's going to hurt me.
Yeah,
that one's
going to
stuck.
hurt. We used to talk about Tanner Scott and Blake Snell that way. We got them both now. So, hell, we used to drool over those guys, too. So, you never
by the way, Ohtani Deuce is saying it scored 20 more runs than anybody else in the major league. So, there's another reason to keep him in the leadoff, right?
Yep. He can still steal bases, too. He can hit a 500
Max Muncy's coming back, too. How about that? Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's go. Let's freaking go, man.
They had their plan, Case. They did. Because we were all, on face value and knee-jerk reaction we all have to a time. Let me raise
which
my
I typically
hand
don't, but I did on this one.
Yeah, and he's like,
I think it's because they were playing so shitty. Yeah. It was like they were playing so shitty, and it's like, really, you're not going to help this team play better? I mean, what the hell, man? I mean, we're made out of money. What do we? That's kind of, I think, where I was coming from.
Yeah.
I was wrong. I think I was wrong. So there you go.
I think I was too. I'll go back to previous ownership. I'm not going to mention their names because I know there's a Dodger dogs going to get pissed at me if I bring those names up again. But, you set money and didn't do anything. But they do what they were doing. We'll see. Again, there's no guarantee on any of that working, Case.
They may all come back and be terrible. Who knows?
They may all come back and
but the players you brought over might have been terrible too.
Yeah, that's right. But I trust these guys, and you got to say, the Michael Conforto deal, that guy's got nothing but a fair shake.
They've got a plan.
They had a plan. He's got a huge fair shake, and if they do make a move on him, there shouldn't be any hard feelings on his part. Good Lord, man. I mean, he got a huge fair shot at it, and if to have success there, it just didn't turn out the way he wanted or the Dodgers wanted. But we'll see moving forward what happens.
Not yet. Although Max Muncy, Kiké Hernández, Ha-Seong Kim, Tommy Edman, if he makes it through that cut, then I'll be the most surprised human being on earth. I think really that's the timing as you get guys back from that perspective. So. Yeah, I mean, here's kind of the way I'm going to sum this up, and again, I'm being very positive today because that's the mood I'm in. I mean, this is not me trying to generate excitement for a podcast. This literally is on August 22nd, where I sit right now as I wake. Of course, I think a lot of that's the adrenaline that the Padres series puts in me. It gets me excited, it gets me confident, and all those kinds of things. Okay, so here's what the message I'm trying to make. Okay. If Tommy Edman comes back and plays to his capabilities, if Kiké Hernández comes back and plays to his capabilities, if Ha-Seong Kim comes back and plays to his capabilities, if Max Muncy comes back and plays to his capabilities, not better than they normally do, just exactly like they normally do. If Tanner Scott comes back and pitches not better than he normally does, just average like he normally does, just pitch like you normally do, same with Kirby Yates. If all six of those guys come back and just do what they normally do, the Dodgers are easily the best team in the major leagues, and that's literally all they need. They don't need these guys to come in and be heroes. All they need is these guys just to come back in and be what they always have been.
No,
and they're the best team in baseball. That's where I get so excited here.
Yeah, that's totally spot on, Case. We've all given that speech. I don't need you to play over your heads. We've had great practice.
One correction, Jay Farrell. In the leadoff spot, Ohtani is second in all of baseball in total runs created. I don't know if that's a correction or a new stat. So second in all baseball runs created, total runs created, 7 behind Judge. So I don't think that's a correction, just an addition to the leadoff spot thing. So, sorry, Coach.
How productive he's been there. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about that. No. We've all given that speech, Case, in front of your team or your group, your position, whatever. In football is my position group. I don't need you to be Superman. I don't need you to play over your head. We're good enough to win being ourselves.
Just be yourself.
Be ourselves. We can't go out and half-ass it. In football we had loafs. If you change your speed, you coach football. It's a freaking loaf. If you change speed, it means you're loafing to begin with. So we've always had that same. You don't need to play over your head. We just need to be who we are. We've had great practices. You guys are prepared for this. You guys are where you need to be. Let's just go be ourselves and win the game. We've all had that in baseball, basketball, football, and everything. So you're right. The Dodgers don't need those guys to come back and be Superman. We just need to come back and be who they are.
Just be who they are, which removes a lot of that's a lot of ifs, like we have a comment here.
Sure.
But saying that a guy doesn't have to overachieve, all they have to do is just be what they always have been. To me, that removes a lot of the risk in those ifs. Well, if that makes sense.
We said that a few minutes ago. There's no guarantee on any of that being correct.
No, correct.
But the front office had.
But there's no guarantee on anything, Coach. Certainly in baseball.
No.
Yeah.
Ohtani gets hit with a line drive the other day, pitching like crap, and right above his leg. We're lucky, could have been lower and broke his kneecap. There's all kinds of crap. There's so many things that there's no guarantee on anything in our lifetime. But so the Dodgers front office has a plan. They know what they got coming back. As you mentioned, we both mentioned, they just need to be themselves. But that doesn't guarantee anything. When they come back, they are themselves.
Yeah,
if they come back and they're less than they normally are.
Well, they could be better, too. I mean, Tommy Edman was better than his normal self at the end of last year.
You're right. That's the case where, he comes back, he can be better than himself. He was great in the playoffs last year, in the end of the season last year. So there's no guarantee on any of those guys doing what the Dodgers have plans for them to do, I guess is the best way of putting it. Here's 100%. What the Dodgers feel, but there's no guarantee on anything. That's kind of the deal. They're not stupid. They signed Michael Conforto because, he's been a quality major league hitter, hadn't turned out well. Scott wasn't performing well before he got injured. What he was before, so there's all kinds of things. If we had guarantees, hell, everybody'd be winning every game. Doesn't happen.
Yeah, Eddie Daves told me one time, if God actually cared who won this game, we would just need one more Christian on our team, and we win every single game, right? That made sense to me. Okay, so clarification on the stats. Deuce says Ohtani has scored 120 runs, Judge 100. So Shohei Ohtani has scored 20 more runs than the second-place guy. So runs created, that Jay Farrell, which says in the leadoff spot, Ohtani is second all of baseball in total runs created. Those are two separate stats, but they both go to show just how great Shohei Ohtani has been in the leadoff spot. Coach, I'm going to keep you around, if you don't mind, for a couple of minutes. We're going to talk about some of the down the farm segments here and some of the guys, just a couple of them here. This is a Esteury Ruiz. You remember him? He came up. So whenever he got brought back down for Justin Dean, a lot of people were like, well, he's the same player, this and that. Well, he actually isn't. The reason, in my opinion, the Dodgers brought Esteury Ruiz down, A, because he wasn't the defensive player they needed, and then B, he wasn't the offensive profile that they were looking for in him, because he was another guy that swung up at the ball. So it's not the fact that Esteury Ruiz has been absolutely, he's hitting like over 400 since he's gone back down. Whatever. It's AAA pitching. It's the Pacific Coast League. Sure. It's a hitter-friendly league. I get it. But he's flattened his bat, and he's done this right here, Coach. He got 3 hits last night. He has 6 hits in the last 2 games, and they're all like that right there. They're just like Hyesung Kim. They're on the ground. They're the opposite field like that. Yep. They're up the middle, and they're either ground balls or line drives. So it seems to me like somebody has also gotten in the head of Esteury Ruiz, like quit swinging up, use your speed by hitting ground balls and low line drives and run like hell. So I'm excited about where Esteury Ruiz is at the moment.
Yeah, we've all seen that case. We've all had to, even on our level, the high school Legion level, you had to try to reinvent some guys.
Yes.
Your strength is this. You run well, or whatever the case may be. They've been to the big leagues. I'm talking about him and Kim to some point. Kim had some success, but this guy didn't have a whole lot of success. But hey, you learn while you're up there. What's it going to take for me to leave Oklahoma City and get back to the big leagues
and not come back?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Oh, I loved it up there, but now I'm here to do some work. That's the difference in guys who never make it to the big leagues or never go back to the big leagues. They keep doing what they're doing. Well, I'm doing what I'm doing. That's me. Okay. Well, you can do it in Oklahoma City. or you can do it somewhere else, or you can get DFA'd and go get a job, get a real job.
I mean, that ball right there for Asturias Ruiz is a hell of a lot better than a strikeout when you can run, right?
Yeah, he's got a chance. That's a base hit. You know, even on the big leagues level, that's going to be a base hit. I mean, your fielder's going to be better, but still, the pressure's on because of what he brings in God's gift to speed right there. So that's great to see for that young man. And maybe you see him again before the year's over.
If he keeps playing like this, he will make himself an everyday major leaguer. That's been the issue with him to me, is that he doesn't play great defense and he swings up with elite speed. It's like, why the hell are you striking out and trying to hit home runs when you can run the way that you are? So it looks to me like at least that he has turned the corner. So, okay, let's move to Double-A Tulsa, Coach. We're close with Double-A Tulsa. Actually, nope, let me back up. This is Antonio Knowles, who just got promoted to Triple-A Oklahoma City, Coach. Antonio spent 800 days at Double-A Tulsa, parts of 3 different seasons, and he did nothing but Coach, guy after player after player after player just got promoted. He never was. He got jumped, he got jumped, and just never bitched, never moaned, never got negative, never did anything but just continue to work every single day. Those are the kinds of guys that you end up respecting the most, because they get in your trust tree because there's zero entitlement whatsoever. They know they have to earn everything they get. I love Antonio Knowles.
Those are the guys usually end up making it. And if they get up there and stay because they do have that mentality. And that's the thing about these kids down there in the minor leagues and everything. It's no big secret. They fight every day to try to get the big league. That's obviously what they're there for. That's what they were, that's their dream in life, is to be a Major League Baseball player. We all had the same dream. I was never close. I never even was even in the same stratosphere as that. But, I had that dream when I was little of being the next Johnny Bench from Oklahoma, the quarter Choctaw Indian. But that's where it ended right there. I couldn't do anything he could do.
That's the end of the similarities between you and Johnny Bench?
I always remember that. We're both quarter Choctaw Indian, and we lived in Oklahoma. Yeah, okay, that's where it ended, though.
That's where it ended.
That's where our similarities ended.
Eddie Davis' dad told him that he had a better arm than Johnny Bench, and Eddie goes, "No, I don't. You're my dad." So
thanks, Dad.
We're going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I'll leave it at that. Eddie had a good one, though. I caught some of his when I was in high school. He'd come work out with us. We'd stand down second base and watch him throwing darts down there from his knees. What a great nowadays Eddie would be in the big leagues. Because, first of all, he's behind Ted Simmons, which is a Hall of Fame switch hitting catcher. But, he'd be in the big leagues now. He was that good. But anyway, so tell Coach Davis I said hi next time you see him. But anyway, those guys, the guys that get there, you can see that kid, what you just mentioned, standing Double-A, instead of being a little whiny ass about it, and talking about how he gets screwed.
Asking for his release and all that shit.
I'm getting passed over. I'm better than that guy. Hell, my shit's better than that guy. Okay, we'll just continue to stay where you are.
Prove it.
This guy continues to make himself better. We mentioned, like I talked about Bobby Miller earlier. If you don't want to be a reliever, but that's your path to major leagues, it's pretty damn simple, man.
Doesn't make a shit what you want.
Yeah, do what
Not
you
till
need
you're
to do.
free agent.
Like I told you, Dennis Eckersley was a hell of a lot better reliever closer than he was a starting pitcher, and he's pretty damn good as a starting pitcher. But he made his name by being that closer until Kirk Gibson got a hold of him. But there's a story there. But
yeah. Hey, Chuck is saying leave a like here. No doubt about that. Hey, Coach, we got about 5 minutes left. I wanted to show you Jose Rodriguez. This is a guy with over 7-foot extension and an absolutely elite changeup. I mean, absolutely elite changeup. This is a guy that has touched 100 miles an hour, but really it's the two seam, so he has a lot of movement, and then it's the changeup. So it's all a matter of look at that changeup, Coach. I mean, that looks like a curveball, right? I mean, that's just a ridiculous changeup. So he touched 99 miles an hour with his sinker last night that had over 20 inches of movement, and the spin hit almost 2,500. And his sinker had a 60% whiff rate. He threw 9 changeups, 4 were in zone. He got 5 swings on his changeup, and out of all 5 swings, all 5 of them got swings and misses. So the stuff, they call him T-Boo because his dad, he has a tattoo of a shark on his arm because his dad's nickname was T-Boo. His dad actually was a general manager of the Oaxaca Toreros, one of the professional teams in Oaxaca, Mexico. So the stuff is elite. It's going to come down to execution for T-Boo Jose Rodriguez. What do you see about the Louis Tiant look-alike here?
I just started to say, first of all, I love his name. Jose Rodriguez needs to be pitching for the freaking Dodgers.
We're in the Major League,
Yeah, in the big league. But anyway, look how he hides the ball, Case.
Yeah, absolutely.
You mentioned Louis Tiant. Not only does he hide the ball and he starts his motion, then he goes down and it's still hidden behind his leg. Look, I mean, he'll never see the damn thing till he raises it up. How tall is he? He's how tall is that?
He's 6'6".
Yeah, I started to say he's so that arm it looks like he's long armed. He's got a change up it's so good. People forget how good a pitch that is, especially when you're a guy that can touch 100. Hell, it looks like a fastball. That's why it's such a damn good pitch. A lot of guys. We don't have to talk about Greg Maddux. Hell, he'd make everybody look stupid.
Yeah, absolutely.
Throw 20 changeups in a row, and they all look different and broke different. I mean, give me a break. But I love the way he hides the ball.
Yeah.
And he's competitive as hell. You can see it. He is. He throws every pitch trying to make sure you don't hit it.
Yeah, absolutely. And then our boy moving back down, we're going to bounce around. That's okay. Zach Earhart, Coach. Zach Earhart has been absolutely tearing it up since he's been. He was part with James Tibbs III. Him and James Tibbs III were the return for Dustin May, and it has been a great return. So he had 2 hits last night, and then you're getting ready to see a really awesome play from center field. Zach Earhart can play. Hell, he can play. He grew up an infielder, so he can play literally everywhere on the field, and he can just absolutely flat rake. So Zach Earhart, I think we're getting ready to see there's his home run. So he hit a home run last night. That's home run number 11 on the season. I want this to go long enough to where you can watch this catch in center field. So Zach Earhart, 333 since he's come over, but that's not the big thing. His on base plus slugging, probably my favorite stat in all of baseball. Watch this catch. 1,008. Go get it, young man. Not a boy, Zach.
Atta baby. Go Cowboy.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So do you got anything to add on him, or it's just like, okay, I've seen him and I know he's good?
No, that's a guy. I mean, we soft spot in our heart, Case. We've seen him play in the Orange and Black for Oklahoma State. He's one of our guys, and you love to follow those guys and see them. And I'm even more excited because he's with the Dodgers now. So we got a chance to watch him in Tulsa and Oklahoma City before he makes the big club, which he's on a pace to at some point make that move. So we'll see how it goes for him.
Yep.
That's one thing we forgot about the trading deadline with the Dodgers. We kind of touched on it before. On the big league level, you didn't see a whole bunch, but there's some cats they got there in the minor leagues.
No doubt. They made their minor league system better than it did the major league team with the trade deadline. No doubt.
Absolutely, and Zach's one of those. So they picked up some quality young players, developmental players in the trade deadline stuff. So it damn sure wasn't a total loss, and we didn't say that at the time either.
Yeah, right. And then we got 2 more guys we want to cover, both pitchers. Coach, this is an amazing story. It was August 20th of last year, so almost exactly 1 year ago. Patrick Copen took a batted ball back to his eye, his face. It busted out his right eye. He went immediately into surgery, emergency surgery, and they told him basically you just lost sight in your right eye. Your right eye's never going to regain sight back. So instead of trying to rehab and do all that, he just said, instead of trying to he just said, screw it, I don't have sight in my right eye. It is what it is. And he just immediately in the offseason went to rehabbing, Coach. He made his first start. He'd never missed a start. I mean, so he went from August 20th getting hit in the right eye, losing sight in his right eye, breaking his orbital bone and all that, to making his first start of 2025. And now here he is just absolutely blowing through Double-A hitters. Last night, 5 2/3 innings, 4 hits, no runs, 7 strikeouts, 3 walks. His ERA on the year is 2.77, 142 Ks and 107.1 innings. So the execution isn't always perfect, but, man, I'm not sure that Patrick Copen, the way that he lost eyesight in his right eye last year, I'm not sure he's not the best story in all of baseball at any level.
What a great story. What a testament to that young man's resiliency, the way he was raised, all the above. I love the goggles. I love him wearing, not the goggles, but he's wearing those glasses. You always love to see a guy out there wearing glasses because, if he's on my team, because, it goes back to the old Ryan Duran of the Yankees back 100 years ago before you were born. Case.
Absolutely.
This guy had pop bottle glasses. The rumor was, I don't know if it's true or not, that he was an alcoholic on top of that, and he threw 100 miles an hour and never knew where it was going. So they said nobody ever dug in on Ryan Duran. That's just because you never knew what the hell he was going to get or you knew it was going to be 100 miles an hour.
Or Darren Dillix at OSU.
Or Darren Dillix at OSU. But, this guy, what a great story to, again, it goes back to the same thing. Why he didn't why me. He did. Now what? He didn't why me and feel sorry for himself. He just made that adjustment, and that's a guy that you're pulling for. All of his teammates are probably the organization. Me and you, everybody in the Dodger Dogs. That's a guy you're going to pull for. We do know this. Whether he makes it in baseball or not, that guy's going to be a success just because of the mental makeup he has.
Oh, my goodness, yes. Absolutely. So let's cover one last guy, Coach, and I am not going to sugarcoat it. Maddox Bruns, Billy Gasparino thought he was the best pitcher, left-handed pitcher in that entire draft. 2021, I think, is when he got drafted. Maddox Bruns has had nothing but injuries, and then when he's not injured, point blank, Coach, he just hasn't thrown the ball very well. I mean, I'm not trying to be negative or throw him under the bus. It just, Coach, you got to call it is what it is. And so his career to this point, coming from the way that he was drafted, the excitement behind how good he was going to be, versus what's actually happened, has been a big disappointment. I say that to say I was talking to a major leaguer last year in an interview, and he made a comment to me that has stuck with me forever. And that is, everybody's time frame is different. Some guys, they get to the major leagues faster and they just figure it out really fast. Other guys, it takes a minute, whether it be injury or whatever it may be, and it takes them a little bit longer to get things figured out. So what I want to say about Maddox Bruns is, yes, has it been a disappointment his career to this point for whatever reason you want to give? Absolutely it has. I can't sugarcoat that. But he's only 23 years old, okay? And this is really the first time he's been able to be consistently posting start after start after start. And this month so far, his ERA is just a little bit over 3. So he's only 23, still has the big left arm, the huge breaking stuff. And again, everybody's time frame is different.
And like you mentioned, he's only 23. That's the best part about the whole deal. He's a 23-year-old. He's still we don't know. I don't know the whole story about his injuries, how much that's taken out of him. Yeah, he comes back from injury, but like we mentioned with the big league guys, he's not as good. You look at that deal right there. Of course, when I was in Texas watching the Phillies game, they put Josh Hamilton in their Hall of Fame down there. There's another story. Now, his is more self-inflicted. The young man had a horrible addiction problem, blah, blah, blah. The 5-2, we all know the story
Self-inflicted,
there.
But that addiction thing, man. Whew,
that's what I'm saying. That's more of a self-inflicted deal. Not so much the injuries like this guy's had, but it's the same concept of how you overcome, how you deal with it. Josh Hampton was a 5-tool guy. He came back and became a 5-tool guy, and they probably should have won the World Series in 11. The Cardinals won it, whatever. There's no such thing as probably should have, but, he was a part of that team. And so you pull for a guy like this too. And you certainly don't give up on a 23-year-old at this point. I know, and we know Billy. Billy knows what he's doing, and he had confidence in this guy to start with, and I'm sure the organization does too. It's great to hear you saying he's starting to show some improvement.
Yes,
and that's a great line for a big leaguer to tell you that, because they certainly know it. Everybody's got a different timeline, and we've seen that time and time again. Some guys are in the big leagues at 19, and they stay there, like Dwight Gooden, or he had some other issues too with him, but. And some of them come.
Other guys are like Justin Turner, and it takes them a minute, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or Max Muncy or Chris Taylor or guys like that. Yeah,
Muncy, that's a good example. And Muncy seems to be getting better as he gets older. I'll be honest with you.
Absolutely.
He seems to be getting better as he gets older. So that's a great line by the major leaguer that told you that, and you pull for this kid too.
Yeah, 100%. So, Coach, I've got a lot of stuff to do today. So,
Gotcha.
Final thoughts here. We got about 30 seconds. This has been a great show, Coach.
No, it's always great to be with you and talk with the Dodgers and have our Dodger dogs, the best in the business, best in the world, come in and chime in, because they're very astute in their observations. They're great baseball people. It's always great to be on with you, see your face. I love you, Case. Love your family. And I know you got to go back and do some Blue Jay things. I know it'll be excellence over there in Guthrie. But looking forward to another big series. Here it is again, biggest series of the year. Got a 1-game lead going in San Diego, and the fur will be flying, as they say there. The Padres fans,
ready.
I'm not going to say they're hungry. They've never won one.
Hey, did you see Fernando Tatis Jr.? Mike Schultz said, I'm ready to play him tonight. And Tatis Jr. was like, yeah, well, he doesn't play, man.
Yes.
They were like, well, what do you think about it? He goes, F, man. I need some sleep. I'm freaking tired. I don't like Fernando Tatis Jr., but I immediately started liking him after that. It was just awesome. He was like, yeah, he's a manager, man. He's not a player. I appreciate the fact that he's fired up, but we're freaking tired, man. I love that. That was absolutely awesome.
That's why it's a marathon, not a sprint.
It is.
And us sitting here in Oklahoma, we're pumped as hell, but Tatis is probably just
I'm not the one
having a nap.
playing, though. I just
Fernando's sitting at home.
Let's go, baby.
Had a little lunch, and I guess he's having breakfast out there now, but he's getting a little nap in, and he's right.
Yeah.
They're all tired, and they're all banged up this time of year.
Yeah. Coach, appreciate it, man. You know I love you.
Love you too, Case, and go Dodgers.
Love all you Dodgers dogs out there as well. And as always, it's a great day to be a Dodger.